Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan, and it's clear that the beta system works for Total War, being able to try out features and provide detailed feedback to Creative Assembly, so it's more in line with what the player base is expecting and not just the developers, does actually benefit the game. We've seen from the last blog that a lot of changes are going to be coming over the coming months. Creative Assembly want to do more of these betas, and I completely agree that this should be a system going forward, especially for something that's going to be a little bit experimental. Now, there's a few things that could be done as betas, so I kind of just want to put that out there because at the end of the day, having these discussions and letting Creative Assembly know what we as a fan base, as a player base want, will naturally benefit the game overall. So, it's just a few here that I've got in my list, but let's talk about them. The first thing, and this one's going to be rather brief because I've talked about it in a video before, is a actual beta to focus around the vassal system. Vassals are frankly useless in Total War Warhammer. There are controls for them, you can send them to attack settlements and so on, but in most cases, they do nothing. They will actually just outright ignore you and stay completely passive. This is a big problem if you're playing, for example, the Warriors of Chaos, who rely on vassals for a little bit of cash coming in, and that's pretty much all they do. They won't move their armies that much. Sometimes they will be aggressive, but they won't actually, win battles. I've seen them lose. I've seen them send just 20 stacks of Marauders and just die out to a Dark Elf stack of 10. Not only that, but sometimes they'll pick up a Dark Fortress, you won't be able to get it off from them, which is frankly ridiculous. That should have been thought out when the Warriors of Chaos rework was coming in. There should be markers to be able to make them as aggressive as you want, how much tribute you're going to be getting from them, because sometimes you've got so much money coming in, you might as well have no tribute coming in, or the bare minimum, so that faction can focus on upgrading, building up better buildings, and getting better troops, which is really, really important. You want to feel like your vassals are actually doing something. There's other factions too, Nakai the Wanderer. You're basically playing Babysitter Simulator. That's no fun. That faction should be active. All vassal factions should be active to one degree, shape, or form. They shouldn't be able to declare war without you allowing them to, or you declaring war yourself, but they should be able to send troops and take settlements. If they take a settlement, then it should have a pop-up saying maybe you want to take it, or you give it to your vassal. This is why they're your servants after all. Then we look towards Slaanesh, again, another faction which does rely on vassals. You've got that whole seduction mechanic, which is frankly useless at the moment. A Slaanesh DLC is likely going to be coming up soon, so it would be nice to see something around that coming into effect so we can actually get some use out of vassals. They could even add in a loyalty bar, for example, so the happier that your vassals are, the less of a chance that they'll have for rebelling against you. Whereas Warriors of Chaos, for example, would not have them rebelling against you because, they're under your full fist, right? But when you're playing as the Empire, when you're playing as Bretonnia, any other faction that would have vassals, you'd want to keep them happy to one degree at least. This is the big one, sieges. They've mentioned that siege fixes were going to come for a lot of patches. Hell, it was even in one of the roadmaps and then just quietly ignored. There are just no changes coming into sieges. Sieges got a hefty rework for Warhammer 3. A hefty one. The problem is that it just sucks. Sieges feel awful, pathfinding is horrible, the ladder system is just really bad, the whole thing with butt ladders, there's a good mod to remove those by the way. In general, sieges need to be looked at sooner rather than later. Since Creative Assembly keep avoiding sieges, it's clear that there's some problems there. Maybe they're not sure how to tackle something, maybe they've got some issues somewhere else. But it's not just the battles, it's the fact that some of the races only have like 2 different settlement maps. So if you're fighting in Bretonnia, you're fighting the same maps over and over and over again, and it becomes very daunting, especially if you're defending those areas, or even just with the attacking too. Honestly, it's just bad. Naturally, something this big is not going to be fixed in one beta. It's going to have to be maybe 2 or 3, but the idea here now is to start seeing changes coming in. More use of maps. This is something that's been coming in for the battle stuff, which is pretty damn good. We'll talk about battles in just a small while, but more use of maps. It's clear that some variety needs to be implemented so it's better visually and also just mentally, but that's secondary considering that they need to fix up the battles in sieges first. I don't want to sound too mean here, but this is the 3rd game in this trilogy. At this point, it should have been fixed up. If anything, in some cases, I am missing the flat maps. You remember the old siege battles from Warhammer 1 and 2, which was just literally a wall going throughout the whole map and that's it? Sometimes that was better. It's really odd, because it's clear that it can be done, and obviously it's not that the AI is that bad, because we've seen a bunch of custom maps come in, created by the modding community, and they've been able to get pathfinding into a decent spot. I'm not going to say it's amazing. In some cases, the AI does crap out a lot, but that's a base game thing. If the AI can be fixed up a little bit there, I feel like it could be a lot better for people who like doing long-form campaigns. Like myself, I do around 400 turns on average, or those who just start up campaigns after every 80 turns or so. If you play Total War a lot, you've noticed the flaw in the siege battles. And also remove bot ladders, goddammit. It's actually a lot better with that mod. It's really, really good, and I think it's one of those ones that a lot of people are going to be downloading. I mean, a lot of people have downloaded it so far. That should just be a base game feature, it shouldn't have to be a mod. And lastly, battles in general. This one I think is the most important one because something is going wrong with the game at the moment. As you guys might have noticed, there are situations where fire at will is bugged or just unit response times. It's really, really strange, and it seems to be getting worse now from what I'm seeing from a lot of different reports. A lot of the emphasis is being put into battle balance, which I do agree with. Units should be a little bit balanced. It's very difficult to do in Warhammer, considering that, you know, it's not just humans versus humans, there's big monsters and stuff, but unit responsiveness is very, very important too. We have seen some good changes coming into effect, like obviously the chariot stuff that they fixed up in Warhammer 3 to make chariots a bit more viable is always really, really good, but it's one issue solved, and a lot of issues seem to be arising. Again, Total War games are known for their battles. The campaign mechanics themselves are pretty, well, basic, let's be very honest there. You're not spending a lot of time on the campaign map as you are doing in battles themselves. Battles should be a lot better. They should start thinking how to fix up range units, units breaking formation, the random conga lines that pop up. All this needs to be resolved. It won't be so much of an issue next game if all the rumors are true about a new engine, but this game is still wildly popular, and I think it's very important to make sure that it stays supported and fixed up. No Three Kingdoms issues, you know what I mean? Now, there could be more issues that would need betas, but I think that vassals, sieges, and battles are the most important there. After that, it's just a bit more smooth sailing. I know some people aren't keen on betas, but at the end of the day, if you're not keen on it, you don't have to take part in it. I see it in the same way as what, for example, Space Marine 2 has just done with a PTR. Things that World of Warcraft has always done, right? Again, PTRs for those people who are interested in trying out those new features and maybe providing some feedback. I know some people haven't provided some feedback. They just wanted to test it out, and you know, that's perfectly fine too. Creative Assembly still gets their data from you playing your normal campaigns as it stands. This is just another way for them to be able to see what is going on, and I think this could be good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below to start a bit of discussion, or if anything else you think needs a proper beta. And yeah, you know, I'll be going through this video like same thing as I've done during the last patch announcement, and just providing some screenshots to Creative Assembly regarding that, because at the end of the day, you know, I want vassals fixed. I really badly want vassals fixed. The Sinesh DLC is coming, and I'll be really disappointed if there's just no reason to use a mechanic which is kind of coded in for that specific race. But yeah, see you guys. Have a good one.